Greetings. I appreciate the nonverbal nature of our video recording that is due for our Chapter 7 assignment because I am currently getting to spend a week of vacation, and it is a little over 100 degrees where I'm at today, and so just trying to keep cool. So I promise you that I'm not trying to invoke any kind of nonverbal communication of disrespect or lack of caring, certainly. So to get into the requirements of our assignment, I did have the opportunity to observe a conversation, and it was really interesting when you actually tried to pay attention to some particular points. I especially focused on those nonverbal pieces, what was kind of listed, and it was kind of interesting. I don't know as if I would have picked up on the nuances that I saw, however, if I did not know the individuals that I was with really well. I don't necessarily cue in onto those things all the time, unless it's something that's especially important for myself. So it was interesting to do that in a more informal place, because my observation occurred amongst friends. So it was a very different situation than when I typically observe nonverbal behavior, which is during meetings, within our school district, or just having direct one-on-one conversations with teachers to help me gauge, how I'm coming off in that conversation, and kind of adjust what I need to do to change how they're responding to me. The observation that I was able to make was I was able to go have lunch with a couple of friends. I had 3 other friends, so there were 4 of us together, and I kind of broke that down into those nonverbal behavior areas. So when we talked about like actual body movements and things like that, to give you a little bit of background, we have a great group of friends that all went out, but there's 2 individuals that have had a disagreement in the past. And I guess I had assumed that some of that has gone by the wayside, but after observing some nonverbal behaviors, I'm not sure that that's quite the case so much anymore. Just looking at body language, there was a lot of some of that, not maintaining eye contact when that individual was talking, doing some sort of purposeful, distractive behaviors, looking at other places in the room when that individual was talking, those kind of different things, not necessarily conveying a facial expression at all when, something would be said that the rest of us or any other person might laugh or smile or demonstrate concern. One of the interesting things too was the proximity was certainly something that was noticed, and it was as we all began to sat down and everyone, begins to find their places at their seats where they want to be. This particular table we sat at had lots of different chairs to choose from, but it was a large enough table we could all kind of sit on each end, and there was a great distance that was purposefully placed in between those 2 individuals. As the first one sat down, the second one made a point to sit much farther away. I thought it was interesting they were seated at a right angle, which the authors of our text did say that you would typically seat that way if you wanted to have more open and direct communication, but I don't know that that was necessarily, made purposefully, that choice to sit at a 90-degree angle. But I certainly found that particular piece interesting about sitting across from an individual or at a 90-degree angle, or sitting, parallel with them as you're having a conversation or a meeting. The other 2 nonverbal factors were things I didn't necessarily notice. That was the differences with the language. I didn't really notice different interactions between those 2 individuals or the rest of our group, for example. And then I also didn't notice any differences either with the chronemics. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. There was really no differences there either. My attention kind of got taken up between watching those 2 individuals as they were having a conversation with all of us. I didn't necessarily notice the other individuals I was with reacting to any of the different unique styles of those two interacting, but it's something that I think I'm certainly going to be paying a little more attention to when I'm out and about. Like I said, I observe people when, I guess, when it's important to me, or when I have to observe it and it's beneficial to me in my job, but I've never really done it in a more informal session. So it was kind of interesting to do, and I look forward to hopefully giving it a try a second time. But I'm curious to read all of your interactions with individuals as well and see what conclusions you came up to. Thank you.